Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, Vierde Master Daniel Cawdery, and yeah, starting a bit late this evening. Had a few things to sort out, but we are going. And yeah, so welcome to Reflections Season 2. This is the first one, and as you can see, we don't have our usual layout for tonight. But yeah, the show must continue. And yeah, to this evening, of course, we've got Dr. Bouah again in the house, and he is interviewing a very special living SA legend, a guy that I met a long time ago, and he's represented the country so many occasions you can't count. And he's also the highest rated player in the country, and he's done a lot. Former SA champion as well. So I'll let Dr. Bouah go ahead and introduce him. So let's go over to the Reflections library. So over to you, Dr. Bouah.
Thank you, Calvin, and good evening, viewers, and good evening to Daniel as well. Welcome, Daniel. You are first in season 2, and viewers, it gives me a great pleasure to have Daniel on the show. Daniel and I have traveled to a number of countries together. We've played alongside one another, and we've actually played against one another in quite a few contests as well, which were all great, of course, because this is a show about promotion of chess. Daniel, you are at the moment the highest rated South African player and has been holding that position for quite some time. And congratulations on that. Tonight, the show is going to ask you some questions, and the viewers will, after 15 minutes also, they will pose their questions. Calvin will read it to them, to you, and you can then pose a response to that. But Daniel, how did it all start? Because I met you probably when you were about 15 or 16 years old, and I'll tell the viewers, I met you at a tournament called the SA Close at Bouah Lake in Johannesburg. That's the first time that I played against you. We drew the game, but I mean, I saw the talent already there, and then later that year you went to play for South Africa at the Olympiad at the age of 16. And I'm actually doing research, Daniel, because I think that you may be the youngest Olympian. I'm just trying to check Henry Steele's year, but otherwise, at this stage, you are still the youngest in my view. Daniel, welcome to the show. How did it all start?
No, I started obviously at a young age, and my dad taught me at the age of 4. And from there we progressed. I progressed pretty much quickly, but I had the keys that I had the passion for the game. And basically, when I was younger, I used to play that. Remember that Kasparov, that travel mate? I used to play that continuously, and I loved the game. And I was just eager to learn all the time. And the thirst for the game eventually produced the results. And then from then on, I just built up, but it was through hard work the whole time.
And Daniel, your passion for the game, do you love the creativity? Do you love? I mean, you're a very attacking player. Is it attacking, positional? Because obviously you've got everything going, because you are South Africa's #1 rated player, winner of the SA Close in 2015, and of course a top finisher in many African championships. What do you prefer, attacking, positional? What is your type of philosophy?
That's obviously an easy one there. It's obviously attacking. And I'm not. Some people say I'm not really too positional, but over the years I've started to acquire some taste. But I generally say I'm quite an aggressive player. I got that from when I was youngster. I used to just pawn storm wherever opponent's king was. I used to just go for it, and and I just maintain that style. And especially the openings, they also are reflective of that style there.
Daniel, would you say that, I mean, I've seen you play the dragon quite a lot in tournaments as well. Does it give you that necessary flexibility, the bishop g7, rook c8, queen a5? And of course, you also love the Groenveld. I mean, I've seen some great victories that you have with the Groenveld. Why those two openings?
No, I like the fianchetted bishop on g7. I love it because it's got a lot of potential when it's open. So, I mean, generally, I love those queenside attacks, especially on the c file and the dragon. I mean, you've got also those rook takes c3s, and it's just like sort of chaotic. It's like a Kobese type position. Yeah, you will also like it. Yeah. So we've sort of got the same style, myself and Watu. So I mean, I enjoy these type of attacking sprees that come around in these openings, and the Groenveld as well. It's got a lot of yeah, it's got a lot of sharp lines.
And now, Daniel, I've seen you play that Grunfeld even at the highest level, at the Olympiad level. The Grunfeld, obviously, Swiftler was one of the main proponents of the Grunfeld. How did it come that players such as yourself, who's a great attacking player, you prefer the Grunfeld rather than the King's Indian?
Now, King's Indian, I lost. I think the one guy that beat me was Jacques Ophoff in the one SA closed there at Newlands. Since then, I mean, I was so like squashed up. I felt like I was a boa constrictor on my neck. I mean, I couldn't move. And then I was thinking to myself, how do I get into this position? So I thought, instead of playing and lying in the center, let me try and break with D5 early on. And I mean, I've sounded much easier. I still play the King's Indian, but I much prefer. I'd probably even play the Benker as opposed to the King's Indian these days, because there's some variations where you take on E5 and you exchange your queens early. I mean, it's very tough to win those games if your opponent knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of puts me off that opening a bit.
Now, Daniel, now we've jumped into some of your openings and these things, but let's go back a bit to 1998. How did you feel going to the Olympiad as a 16-year-old for that first time? And I mean, you were playing in something called Chess City in Kalmykia. How did you find the place?
Yeah, I loved it. That was they built a city specifically for the chess players. So yeah, that was Kalmykia. Yeah, brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that was a nice experience for me, and that obviously motivated me to work harder. And and that's how it went. Yeah.
And Daniel, your next Olympiad was in 2006. So you took a bit of a break and these things, and you were of course studying as well. Where did you study?
Yeah, I studied at University of Johannesburg. Yeah, so I did a BCom accounting.
No, fantastic, Daniel, on that side. And then after that, because you have always been a consistent top finisher. I mean, I recall 2002 SA Open in Port Elizabeth at the Boardwalk. I mean, you were playing probably on those top 5 boards for most of the tournament. What is your recollection about that tournament? I mean, lovely tournament at the Boardwalk.
Which year again?
2002, the one that Jonathan Gluckman won and Ronnie van Tonder and those guys.
Oh, is that the one where I got the cell phone default?
Yes, the cell phone.
Yeah, wow. I'll never forget that one. Geez, because in those days, I mean, I didn't think that. I think I was the first guy in South Africa to get that. No, because I'm playing Dion Solomons, and next minute I get a phone call from my mate from my side of town asking me about a volleyball game. So I said, no, I can't play now. I'm busy with the chess game. So then I put the phone down. Next minute, Dion obviously put his hand up and claimed the point. And I was like amazed that you could actually get defaulted like that. I thought cell phones were allowed in those days, but I mean, it was a funny story from those days, yeah. But I was doing well in the tournament. Had I won that game, I think I would have placed close to like top 3 there, yeah.
Now, Daniel, tell me I've also always associated you sort of with Randburg Chess.
Yeah.
Chess club when you started to play, or did you have different clubs in Johannesburg when you were playing and growing up?
I played for numerous chess clubs over the years. I played for quite a lot. Kempton Park, Kempton Park Chess Club is where I was basically. When I was a youngster, that's the main club I used to play at, and then I used to also play a bit for Phoenix. And and then Randburg. I played for actually quite a few, if you think about it. And I played for some others on the side. So yeah, generally, but Randburg, I had some good days there. We had a decent team, and we've had some good experiences there at the club champs in your side. Yeah.
Yep. No, certainly you guys were very dominant as well, and also winning the SA Club Championship on occasion. Daniel, if you look back over that period between 98 and sort of 2006, if we deal with that period, who was your top opposition at that stage? Because Nicholas van der Nat was the SA Close champion from 2000. And then, of course, Watu won it in 01 and then again in 03. And then Kenny sort of also came up in that year. So how did you play against those guys during that time? Because obviously you were still a young man of 21, 22.
Yeah, no, I found, Kenny had a good score against me at that stage. Yeah, I've struggled against Kenny. I had a few games with Watu in the past. Luckman's was also around. I think even Stander was around in those days. Yeah, it was quite a few. Very strong, eh? Very strong. Even like a Opov. I mean, Opov was like 2260 or something around there. I mean, all the competition was quite high. The standards were high. There was also Charles de Villiers. I mean, guys could pull an upset on any time of the day. Yeah, on any day.
Now, Daniel, what was you also played at those Spescom events? Because I was looking at the Spescom events the other day, and it struck me that that those were some top tournaments there at the Weimsig Stadium. What is your recollection of those tournaments?
Oh, they were quite strong, eh? Geez, I've had some very. I mean, I played Donovan used to even come up for that. And I remember playing Donovan, and it was just an awesome event, organized by Mostad. The Mostad, that very well structured tournament. Everything was on time. No, I loved that tournament. Eh? Yeah, it was a good tournament. Pity that the sponsors fell through.
Yeah, it was a lovely tournament. I quite enjoyed it as well, and I think I recall playing you as well in that 2002 as well, which I lost to you there. But I mean, it was just great to be in a field where, and I actually told Calvin the other day that at that one Spescom tournament, round 1 was Amon Samatoe, and then round 2 was sort of Ronnie van Tonder. And when I looked again, I'm playing Watu, Daniel, Kenny, and just about everybody that you can had the SA title. Daniel, you've played 6 Olympiads. Which has been your favorite one?
It's a tricky one there, eh? I must say I enjoyed Dresden, 2008.
Yeah,
I did enjoy it. You see, the thing with me is I always start well at Olympiads. I start I see there I was going through some of them, but like I was a 3.5 out of 4. I mean, at one stage I'm GM norming of note. Then the second half I always seem to crash through. But I would 2008 I would rate that as probably the most enjoyable. I enjoyed Germany, and Turin wasn't bad as well.
So the 2006 Turin was good, and the 2008 one, and Kantiman, did you enjoy the 2010 one?
No, I wasn't there.
Let's see, what was your next one? Your next one was Istanbul.
I was in the Istanbul one, and that was also a few hiccups there, on the Istanbul one,
But now, Daniel, when you started to play in Baku again at the Olympiad on that one, I mean, you had quite a nice little run there, and I mean, I think toward the final round, you were also playing on board 1 there, if my recollection is correct.
I was in. I had a good run. It's doing well, but again, like I say, the beginning part of the Olympiad, I'm always very good. I mean, I don't know, for some reason, maybe getting tired. Or Bermuda party takes it out of me. One of the two. I don't know. But I must try and rectify that situation because I've been GM norming lots of tournament Olympiads. And then I'm getting to the second part after the Bermuda party. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. I need to fix that part of my Olympiad. Maybe that's a crucial one. You have to end well.
Yeah, you have to end well. Daniel, what did you've now been a top player, I would say probably from 97, 98, when you were 15, 16 years old. How have you maintained your longevity at a high level? Because, I mean, I'm also playing for a long time, but not at your level. How do you maintain your level that you are still 24, 19 after making your Olympia debut in 98?
Yeah, you got it. So it's a lot of hard work. Chess is tons of work. But also, you got to have I think I've got a talent as well. So I can work less than most people, but still, I've still got to the update the lines, and it's I've had to put in a lot of work in the past, especially 2014. That year, I think I put in quite a bit of work when I went abroad. That's the year I put really a lot of work in, and I fixed up all the openings. And from then on, I've been doing work, but not as much as I should be. So I've just been maintaining it basically on maybe talent, probably talent, I would say.
But you always seem to play quite fast. I mean, I always get the impression that if you're happy with your position and you've analyzed it, you've seen it, and you go for it. Would you agree with that?
Instinct. Yeah, play an instinct sometimes, because otherwise you end up pondering for such a long period of time, and then, like my dad says, when my dad watches my games, he says, as soon as I start thinking, a very bad moves coming along. He doesn't like nothing. But when I play quicker, I don't know, must just trust my gut instinct sometimes. Because these days I start to think a bit more. But in the past, I used to play quite quick, and I was sort of accurate. So I mean, it's just basic gut instinct, and I like to play on the gut instinct.
Now, Daniel, you won your first SA Closed in 2015 in Cape Town, at one of the hotels. How did you feel finally winning the SA Closed Championship? Because I mean, that's a tournament that really decides to say, I'm the best player in the country.
Yeah, okay. Before that one, I said to myself, like, there's no messing around. This one, there was no messing around. The previous ones, I think I didn't take as seriously as I should. But this one, I said to myself, I sat there, I stayed with the Fishers as well. And you can ask them, I was just chess 24/7. I really took that one seriously. And I played my heart out, and and I did a lot of work prior to the tournament, and I really put a big effort in. The key with chess is you've got to put a big effort in during these tournaments, because you always get distractions and stuff. You've got to ignore them, and you've just got to focus on the board and get your regulated sleep and eat correctly, etc., and exercise. Did all of that as well on the side.
So is it a bit of discipline and those aspects that you mentioned as well now?
Yeah, discipline for sure. Yeah.
Daniel, with once you cemented that SA Closed Championship, your rating has always been at this high level that you've been able to maintain 24. And I mean, it's now January 2021. Your rating is 24.19, the highest South African rating at the moment. And I'm sure you have the potential to climb even higher. I've noted that your rapid rating is 23.57 and your blitz is 23.25. So it's all consistent in all the formats of the game. Which of the formats do you like better than the other, or do you like all of them?
No, I like classical. I actually enjoy classical. Yeah, I enjoy, but I was 24.49 at a stage before when I played Liberonian. But then, but then after that, I had a few hiccups along the way. But I don't think I put enough work in personally. So I think I can reach 2,500, but not in this country at the moment. I mean, I need to go abroad.
Yeah, you need to go
and sit in Europe for a bit. I think I'll get there quite comfortably if I just had to sit in Europe. Because I mean, if you're playing chess every day, the problem is this side you get a lot of distractions, and I mean, you're number one at the moment, and you don't see. I mean, it's like it's difficult sometimes for motivation as well. Sometimes, so sometimes I've got to motivate myself. That's why before I go overseas, I try to motivate myself, like especially with the Olympiads. That's why you see in the beginning of the Olympiad, I always do well. I always get some good results, and I put a lot of work in prior to it. So I've just got to motivate myself sometimes. Yeah.
Understood. Daniel, who has been the highest rated opponent? Was it Iranian that you played in the World Cup in 2017?
Yeah, it's Iranian for sure. Yeah, it was Iranian, and I was actually winning that game at a stage. But then I did one of the worst moves of my life. I think I went Rook 88 or something. It was a horrific move. I don't know. I panicked in the situation because I mean you're sitting. I mean, I look to my left, there's a Nant. I look to my right, there's Nakamura. I mean, there's all these top GMs around here following my game. I mean, even Carlson's looking at while he's playing. He was playing the Nigerian. He's looking occasionally. I mean, it was a bit the awe of the moment. I mean, maybe caught me because I played a move that I would never play in a million years. I mean, I think I missed Queen G3 check, and I mean, after that, I went through the game with Lev. Lev said he was lucky after the game when I spoke to him. Said he was lucky to escape that. But I mean, and then we analyzed it in our head. And I realized after that, I mean, I looked afterwards on the engine, I was like -4. So, I mean, I could have had a good result there. A nice upset victory in the first round of the World Cup.
Now, Daniel, thanks. I've got a few more questions, but Calvin, you've got a few questions in the chat room. Perhaps you want to just come in at the stage?
Okay, guys. I've got a few questions. Thanks to the viewers out there for throwing in your questions. Not too much. First of all, maybe something off topic, Danny. Something from James Dunham. I believe you know James quite well. James's first question here is soccer related. He's asking, where is this question now? He's asking, how do you feel about Man U being top of the table? I think that's a good question, James. Thanks.
They weren't top of the table till yesterday's game. Leicester beat Chelsea. Oh, by the way, he's a Chelsea supporter. So Leicester beat them 2-0. So now Leicester above. But we're playing tonight.
Oh,
10. So I'll be watching that game. Yeah.
okay, that's a
So
good
I'm
update.
enjoying the soccer at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Of course, we know Danny walks around at the tournaments with his Man U top. Yours truly as well, Man U fan. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Thanks for that question. Yep. And then next question is from Dolph, of course. Dolph, also a usual on the show. Thanks for tuning in. Dolph says, Daniel, do you remember you played an event with Rubery van der Nat and think what two? There was 4 of you. The question is, should they make more round robin events like this? He says
that was great. I must admit, Calvin, that was a nice tournament. Wow,
Okay.
it was well. Frans Australian organized it, and I really enjoyed that tournament. It was a double round robin against each other. I think I won that tournament. Yeah, I did win that tournament, but it was a very high level games, and and it I mean the venue was perfect for playing conditions. Yeah, great tournament. We should do more of them, eh? We should get like an elite group, and then we should put them. We should play against each other under good conditions.
Like Magnus Carlsen tour here, just for South Africa.
Yeah.
Can call it a Calvin Klaassen tour. Anyway, so thanks Dolph for that question, and then from Charles, of course, Charles Eigab. I think he was our first guest on Reflections season 1. First ever guest. Thanks for tuning in, Charles. Charles says, in 2008, I remember Daniel had some incident with the US game, I think. Can Daniel give more insights? He says it was a great game with some top US GM.
That's the one we're looking at now.
And
that's the one we're looking at, Yuri Schulman.
Yes.
I'll tell you the story in the background. Yuri's clock wasn't working, so he pressed his clock, but his time was ticking. So my time, it wasn't on my time. And now Yuri was complaining because he looked at 1 minute, he had 2 minutes, next minute he had 38 seconds. I mean, obviously didn't hit the clock hard enough, which I told him afterwards, you have to press it properly. And and then he was the big dispute. There was 5 arbiters involved, and it became very heated because at that stage, Watu was beating Nakamura as well. Watu had a good game position against Nakamura, and the Americans were title contenders. And I'm in a good position. Watu's in a good position. This could be a 2-2 draw against United States of America. And these guys expect to get medals. So it was big. I remember Kamsky was next door. I remember what's the one that Mabu played? Veruzian, or I forgot his name. I forgot his name. But they were all walking up frantically down the aisle, watching the game. So it was we put them through their paces.
Yeah, that sounds like an epic match. And Charles, just for you, we're gonna also show the game in a short bit. So yeah, that's the questions for now. Thanks, guys, and over to you, Lyndon.
No, thanks for that. Daniel, one of the questions that I've had debate with one of the young South African players, is there any advantage in studying the classics? Your Nimzovic and Lasker and those guys, your Alekine, what any advantage in studying those classics?
Yeah, you're definitely going to get an advantage, but I won't lie, I haven't done as many as I should myself. But I mean, if you've seen Carlsen interviews, those are a must. I mean, to understand those classics and to sit with them. My great predecessor's great book to do that with, to sit with Kasparov's analysis and go through it. I once went through a game. It took me 2.5 hours, but well worth it in the end. So I reckon it's always a good idea to know them, if you can.
No, super. Thanks for that, Daniel. Your favorite world champion?
Yeah, it's a tricky one actually. Okay, but back in the day, I used to love fighting chess. That's where I got my King's Indian from, Kasparov. I used to play Kasparov's openings. So basically, probably I would take Gary Kasparov from 85 to 2000. Yeah, he had some nice, very nice games. I mean, especially with the King's Indian, and that's why I started playing it. Because that fighting chess book was a tool that I used, and I had also the best games with Mikhail Tal. I used to go through occasionally. So that's probably where you get some of my sacrifices coming out of nowhere. Yeah, sometimes I get that attacking style from Tal. Yeah, going through his games when I was younger. Yeah.
Now, Daniel, that tournament that you played in Iceland in 2014, must have been a great experience because I mean that Reykjavik Open was known as one of the best Swiss tournaments
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, Reykjavik was great. At once I was GM norming. Then I played Robin van Kampen. But yeah, I blundered in the opening. I played a Queen takes D4 on the Sicilian, and I didn't play it well. And I actually got sort of crushed there. But I mean, prior to that, I was on a good roll. I mean, I just drew with Ramirez from USA. I beat Kolovic from Macedonia. I was on a high of note. So eventually I normed it. That was my first norm. So yeah, it was highly enjoyable. But the conditions there are wow. There's something. If you're going to play a tournament, go play that and Gibraltar. Those are your two main ones. Yeah.
Yes,
best ones
and
to
now
play.
Gibraltar. I mean, quite a few South Africans seem to enjoy going to that Gibraltar tournament. Of course, we know it's not on this year. Is it a tournament that you'd recommend?
Yeah, highly recommend because you get to see all the famous faces and you play. You're sitting in the same room as them. I mean, when I was there, now I played Nigel Short. I played Pentala Hari Krishna. I mean, I had some very strong GMs there as well. And I mean, I enjoyed the competition, and it's nice to be around these players. I mean, when you go eat, you're sitting around, like you look to your right. I mean, there's all these top GMs and your left. I mean, everyone's just surrounded by top players there. So it's a nice feeling.
It must rub off on you on that one. Daniel, you've played a lot of tournaments in Africa because I mean I've seen you and I've played in some of those ones in Zambia, Uganda, and others. Which has been your favorite tournament of all those ones that you've traveled to, that you've participated in?
Probably be the one in Algeria where I won it. I actually came tied first. Yeah.
Yes.
There I was hitting some serious form at a stage after I beat Adli. I mean, Adli was a crucial game, and then from then on, I was doing very well. I mean, I just had one. Eventually, we came tied first, but all I needed was an extra half a point somewhere where I could have got it. Maybe Adlani, Arab, or maybe I could have pushed on there for a point. That was my only. If I look back, that's probably a missed opportunity there. But yeah, other than that, end up losing by half a Buchel's point for the Grandmaster full straight Grandmaster title to Basim. So yeah, that was sure. That's not nice to see it.
Yeah.
Imagine losing by half a Buchel's point, a GM title. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Daniel, that would have been a tough one for anybody to swallow as well. Now, Daniel, we've got one or two games that you're going to take us through tonight. Can we go to that 2008 game? Firstly, that Charles Eigap from Namibia asked about. I think let's have a look at that one first. And Daniel, you were playing against Grandmaster Yuri Shulman, and Yuri Shulman is of course from Belarusia, and he moved to the United States in the late 90s. He actually got his Grandmaster title in 1995, and then he went to join the University of Texas after that, and he became a regular in the American Olympic team. But Daniel, tell us about the game and take us through it.
Okay, well, this is a round one. We're playing USA, Dresden, 2008, a complete underdog. So, and I knew he played the French, and I decided when I played him, I just decided not to go main lines. Let's play some sidelines against him, because normally some of these GMs, you can't really play too many main lines because they know everything. So I tried to put him off. So I played a line that I haven't actually never played it before. This was the only time I've ever played this line.
Something interesting, Danny, that Mabu mentioned on the show the other day about the top GMs is, I think he was talking about the Shirov game as well. He played recently online against him. And Mabu said that the interesting thing about these super GMs is they are hunting for you in your lines. They want you to play your best line, and then they just show you that they play better than you, kind of, with their deep preparation. So interesting choice. Makes sense that you choose something like that.
What the GMs do, Calvin, is they find a line where you're winning nicely. They find a line. So they say, okay, in the French, okay, Daniel's winning probably nicely with the Terrace. So they're thinking he's winning majority of his games. He's always going to play the Terrace. So then they go into your pet lines, but they obviously...
Then they just know it better.
And they know you're going to play it because you've got such great results. So the Grandmasters actually That's how I see it. Grandmaster's actually playing to your pet line sometimes.
Yeah, interesting stuff, Danny. Just one last thing in the chat box, by the way. It looks like Mark maybe joined us late because he said when you played in round 1 in the World Cup, you had an advantage against Aronian. What do you remember of that? We spoke about that a bit earlier, Mark. So maybe just later on, you can also just check it out again. Danny gave us quite a bit of thoughts on that match earlier on. Thanks, Mark. And then just one last question, Danny, from the chat here. James Dunham is asking, who do you think is going to win the Tata Steel this year?
Sure. Magnus is on, what is he on? 2.5 out of 4. Yeah, okay, but he's sub 2,700 level. He's drawn 3 games. But Magnus is always going to, I mean, we all know Magnus. We always think he's down and out. And here comes a boy, he gets like another, he gets like 5 consecutive games on his belt. So you can never disregard this guy. I would probably go Magnus. He's won it. He's won at a record time. I think he's won at 7, if I'm not mistaken.
7 times.
And then Hunt's won at 5.
Okay.
Magnus, what is he? 30 now. Yeah, he's 1990. 30.
It's probably statistically the best bet. So yeah. Okay. Welcome to Bearded Zaid and Dr. Queenie. I'm gonna read more of the chat a bit later, guys. So let's get going with the game. So Danny, it's all yours.
Right. Okay. All right. So cool. Okay, so we're gonna. Okay, so French defense.
Okay,
so
just hang on, guys. I can't seem to see the board moving. Are we in the same study here?
Yeah. This is the one. Yeah.
Okay, I see it here. Okay, there we go. Okay, it has just moved. Thanks. Okay, so I see a Taras with knight d2.
Yeah, so terrace variation of the French. Okay, so normally knight f6 is a move here. Yeah, he plays, I think there's a Morozevich variation, Yeah. So bishop e7. This is not bad. I mean, even Marcus Reger played this against me when I was in Austria, and we actually had a draw. And I think I was +2 against Marcus. He's also 2,700. He played the same line against me as well, and had a nice game. So I sort of know how to play against this line. There's quite a few nice options for white. But okay, and then all right. So let's carry on. Knight f3 developing.
Danny, just something there. Can you perhaps get back to your seating that you work, as we see nothing of you right now?
Sorry.
Yeah. There we go. Much better. Okay. Cool.
e5, knight d7. Okay, obviously taking control of the center. Bishop d3, normal. Now c5. Now normally your move is c3 here. Yeah. Obviously you want to keep the pawn chain. But in this scenario, I thought let's give him let's get quick development, and maybe because I had to play something different. I mean, these guys have seen this. These guys have all know these variations like c3. But what I played now is sort of a sub variation. It's not that great for white. But if black sort of doesn't know what he's doing, white can get some nice attacks. All right, so let's carry on. So castle as opposed to c3. Knight c6, and then I played rook e1. So my plan is simply to go like this, restructure my knight to g3, immobilize. Okay, then he plays a5, interesting move. Okay, a5, yeah, I'm not so sure about in this position, but okay, some of these GMs like to play like this, but it's a queen side, yeah, playing on the queen, but I'm not so sure about a5. I don't think it's necessary. This position, okay, so c4. Yeah, I thought, okay, the king being in the center, normally you try and break in the center. So that's what I thought. So try and immediately take control of the center.
Yeah, c4 really heats things up here. I like it.
It's not the best, Paddy. I checked. I mean, I see what's the moves. I was looking at it earlier. I think c3 is an option, or a4. Normally after a5 you play a4 because you get this nice b5 square at some stage. Okay. Played c4, try to break in the center, castle, take. Okay, now I played knight f1. I'm not so sure about that. But okay, I thought give him the pawns in the center because I was playing quite attacking. And remember, I've got nothing to lose in this game. I mean, this guy's 2,700, close to 2,700. So, and I'm 22. I think I was 2280 there. So I had nothing to lose. So I thought, let me go for it. Instead of just playing boring chess, let me try and attack this guy and take him and take it to the sword. Okay, so knight f1, obviously to put on g3, took the pawn. Now, interesting, I played bishop b1. Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
At first, so actually, Okay.
So you're just signaling you're going for the throat here, perhaps with the queen d3.
Yeah. Queen d3.
Now I thought when I looked at Daniel, when I looked at this position, I thought you're playing Fischer Random.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Yeah, it's not often you'll see a move like this. I mean, I don't know, in this type of position. I mean, normally your basic moves are probably knight g3 and and just playing on. But I thought let's go for h7, considering this knight is here. Remember, this is normally the main defender of the position on h7. So considering this knight is moved, so now this h7 becomes sort of a slight little target. So I thought let's try and get the queen and the bishop looking down on this diagonal. All right, so f6, okay, f6, yeah, interesting move. Okay, yes, to break up I've got a strong e5 pawn. Yeah, okay, I like what I played. I played e6, yeah.
Right.
Okay, e6, you've got to calculate now. This is quite important because it looks bad, because it looks like the e6 is just weak all of a sudden. I mean, remember, black's already a pawn up, and e6 could be going at some stage. But I was more focused on this guy. So, okay, so knight c5. Yeah, and then I played knight to h4. Yeah, I thought it opens up the pieces, brings a knight into the game, and
staying consistent.
Move. And it prevents this at some stage, f5 as well. The main thing is f5, because then my knight can obviously capture, because I've got a bishop looking down on it as well. All right, so knight to h4, bishop takes, then knight to g3, again stopping the f5, and then d3. Now I decided to give the pawn. I don't know how accurate d3 is, though. I don't think it's that accurate. I think there could have been better. If you probably stick it on an engine, probably there's better here. I wasn't so sure. Even in the game, I wasn't sure about this move. This was a strange move for me. Didn't understand this. Okay, but now obviously, if I take with the bishop, I'm just going to lose this game. I mean, he's going to take back. I mean, he's going to exchange off pieces. He's got this passed pawn. So I thought I have to do something. So I thought to myself, okay, let's go for the king. What's in this pawn? So then I sacrificed the rook.
Oh, okay.
Exchange, yeah.
Did you think quite long on that sacrifice, Daniel? Because you gave
the I did actually. I did. Yeah, I had to calculate it. But sort of my gut kind of stepped in here a bit, and I thought to myself, I looked at it quickly. I don't think I spent too long, because I mean, if you think about it, that's knight takes is forced and queen takes, and then other problem is how do you protect h7? Yeah. When you go g6, now my knight plays a crucial role in this position.
Yeah.
Knight g6. And if f5, I'm going to take it. So, I mean, I don't think too long on a rook takes e6, but I was shocked that he missed it. Actually, I was actually quite shocked at d3. I think it was very bad move on his side. Okay, so there, knight takes. Okay, knight c5. Obviously, I've got to maintain this. So if I move my queen anywhere, he's just going to take my piece. So I have to keep the queen on that diagonal. So I play queen to f5. Okay, rook f7. Guys, obviously you cannot take, because queen takes, and then mate on h7.
Mate, yeah.
All right. So rook to f7. He had to move his rook, and then I played bishop h6. Okay, I need to activate my bishop. I mean, see a lot of things. What I find in junior chess as well in our countries, a lot of people just play with certain pieces. In chess, we should try and play with all our pieces. So I thought to myself, everything's working. What about this bishop? It's suddenly doing nothing. So let's rather activate this, because it's around the king. I thought, let's try and activate it. So, then activated that piece. Queen d7. Obviously, he's going to try and trade off, because my queen's far superior than his. So, but obviously, I can't allow this. Otherwise, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So, my queen across. Again, this is not
possible, because the rook on f7 is just going to drop, yeah.
Yeah. So, then he plays knight e5. He has to get rid of this knight, because it's a thorn in his side at the moment. Then knight takes, pawn takes. Okay, and then I played bishop g6. I like this move.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It seems like black has been trying the whole time. Sorry, London. It seems like black has been trying the whole time just to swap off all the pieces you're using to attack, and then just move still with tempo, getting some initiative.
Yeah, getting the rook away, getting the rook, because the rook's an important defender of this pawn. So by luring it away with this, because I'm going to play it anyway, but instead of playing it straight away, I mean, rather first lure the rook.
Nice.
So the rook has to come to a slightly inferior square on f6, and then play bishop f5.
Yeah. Now I wanted to make the point, Calvin, that a knight has now given itself up on g6, and now the bishop has presented itself also on g6. So because for a lot of players, you have this pawn on h7, and then it's a mental block that you think g6 covered, but actually Daniel has just illustrated that it was not actually defending the square g6, because he could put his light squared bishop on that square.
Well spotted, Lennon. Yeah, that protected square is sometimes difficult to spot, for the average player. So nicely utilized, Daniel.
And this knight, you can see the knight move. How effective was a knight move?
Yeah.
I mean, I checked it on the engine. I mean, the engine disliked this tremendously in knight h4. But I mean, if you look at it in the long run, knight h4 probably nearly won me the game. in the end.
Yeah,
So knight
yeah.
F4 with a, okay, so then obviously he's gonna try and trade off queens at all costs. Queen G4. He has to give up the rook, otherwise Queen G7 mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously I'm gonna take it again. I cannot trade off because of these guys.
Yeah.
These are gonna be too strong in the long run. So I have to keep the queens on. So Queen H3 pretty much forced because I also have to protect the bishop. Bishop F6. Okay. And knight F5 activated, block the queen. Activate the knight, so king there. Yeah, he has to get his king out of there because I mean there's some tricks I've got.
97 stuff also hanging.
Yeah, my main plan is this, guys. This was a nice. I like this simple rook left because this rook at the moment is doing all these pieces are playing together well. This was my actual plan in the game. Play this.
Quite cool, yeah. And if the knight moves, you can sometimes go to rook c7 as well.
Yeah. So he has to play d6 when the rook comes to c1. He has to not allow my rook to c7. Once my rook gets to c7, it's over.
Yeah.
Daniel, I was also surprised when I was looking at the game earlier today. I realized that the material is all even.
Yeah.
You know, with all those sacrifices that took place now, when I saw that white is like a pawn or two down, but actually white is equal. I mean, the position is equal in terms of material.
Yeah. That's nice, but black's this is the main problem for me. This pawn once this gets going, so I've just got to keep the queens going. Okay, so now it becomes tricky for him. Remember, he was starting to sweat a bit now, because at one stage Mabusela was also even winning. I mean, we had a case where the only game that wasn't looking so hot was Henry's game against Onishuk. I mean, I think Onishuk thought about probably outplayed Henry in that game, but Mabusela's game was also quite interesting. There was, I think, knight for 2 pawns or something, if I'm not mistaken. So Mabu was putting pressure. Watu was doing well against Nakamura, and I'm doing well.
And
so
then
the pressure's on.
Tell me something, Daniel. Just you must just let us know maybe where, if you can remember, when during this game did that small incident happen with the time for your opponent.
I can't remember that.
Is it closer to the end?
Yeah. Okay. So Rook C1, obviously threatening the knight, has to protect. Obviously, you can't allow me to C7, so he plays B6. And then we do the rook lift. Important, nice, because you need to play with this guy.
Getting your last piece into the game, yeah.
But okay, rook G8. Okay, so obviously he doesn't want me to control this G file, so that's why he plays rook G8. Obviously, he wants to trade off rooks at some stage. Queen goes back. Now knight D6. I mean, it's
F7.
quite crazy. I mean, looks like there's something here. I've never really probably looked at this, but I think there should be something here for white. It feels like there's something nicer. You look at it. I mean, this knight is sort of out of the side there, not really doing as much, not as effective. I mean, I'm coming into F7. I've got some tricks here. I thought I was doing quite well here. Rook takes, okay. Now I'll go pawn takes. So our key move, because the idea is also to get escape square later for the king.
Okay. Right.
As opposed to taking the queen, because you always got to worry about this back rank checkmate as well. So it helps when you take with the pawn. And obviously, this can also be a nice little plan as well, to play G4, G5 at some stage, put some pressure, and also keep a nice nicely on F5 by G4, protecting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and you can't trade off queens because of the passed pawn. So I played queen to H5. And this is quite a good move. I like this move because obviously you can't take because then queen to E8. And the king's in big trouble.
Yeah.
So Yuri played king G8, I think, and then knight to E8. Okay, so I'm just applying pressure the whole time. Now remember, now if I look at it, I mean, I haven't got tricks like this. There could be some tricks like queen G4 and then knight F6. There's a lot of dicey this, I mean, remember, his time was low as well, So he had low time, and he's got to calculate in this type of position. And I think I had half an hour over him. So this became quite, this became unpleasant for him now. Okay, so knight E8, now he moves his bishop back. Okay, now it looks like there's something here, if you think about it. I couldn't find anything like clearly winning, so I thought I'd just maybe bring my knight back to F5 probably. It's probably stronger there. Queen G6, again, I can't trade off. I need to keep the queen. The queen back to H3. Obviously, I can allow this at some stage. King F7. Knight comes back to F5. I need to regroup, and I also need to block the queen. crucial to block this queen because you don't want this queen getting activity at some stage.
Yeah.
Especially with my king. So knight to e6. G4, I like this move. This is for me, it was quite a nice move because now it allows me freedom of my queen as well. So I like G4 a lot. This was a good move in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it.
For my queen, yeah. And he went bishop f6, and then queen f3. Quite crucial, eh? I wanted him to push his pawn. What was the reason? There was a reason behind it. I didn't play queen b3 straight away. There was a reason. I think no, but obviously you can't he just take it? You can probably just take on g4. So I first played this, yeah, because when I play here, now if I play here, when he takes his pawn, I take back and I'm protecting my knight. That's probably the reason.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. And now I'm applying pressure here because his queen's out of the game. So now it becomes quite difficult for him, especially in this position. And now, I sort of chickened out. When he played d4, I had a lot. I mean, if you think about this, I mean, I should have actually played on here. I mean, this guy, we're talking with a guy with 20 seconds or what? He had 38 seconds on his clock. I mean, I'm white here, I'm attacking, I've got a 15-minute time advantage. And this is when the issue started to happen. Because, I mean, after d4, I think he didn't press his clock properly. And his clock was ticking the whole time. So, and this is when he's landed up at 38 seconds. So from 2 minutes, and this was the whole issue. And then, I don't know, maybe I should have played on, eh? Depends on the circumstances. Remember, I was still young. I mean, I'm playing against America. I thought to myself, let's get one in the bag for the team. I also thought team effort, get half a point.
Yeah.
But if you look at this now, I could have carried on. Yeah, I think I would have been all right. Eh?
Yeah. In fact, Daniel, I was looking at queen d5. Queen d5 in this position.
Queen d5,
possibility.
Yeah, queen d5, maybe queen g4. I don't know.
Well, then queen d7.
Then king g6 maybe. I don't know. It becomes tricky because if you take, remember, f5's also hanging. And he's also got this. Also got these checks as well. Eh?
Yeah, you do have knight d6 check and knight e4 perhaps, but it's getting messy.
I played too cautiously. Yeah, I think I should have. If I was playing now, I would have played on for the. I would have played for the win. But when I was still young then. I mean, so I thought to myself, let's just get the point, half point in the bag.
Yeah.
I did the potential, which he was more than happy to take. More than happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially. Go ahead, Leonard.
600 rated player, round 1 of the Olympiad. It's a great start. I mean, that's the point.
That's exactly what I would have said now. Yeah.
But if I had played on, normally I'd win these top positions because it's nice and attacking. It's in my area of expertise. This attacking play. So I would normally do quite well in this. If I look at it from now, if I'm looking at it now, maybe I was even considering f3 at some stage, just protect this pawn. I don't want him to take this. So just keep the structure. I like this pawn, but keep the knight here. So I don't know. I'll just look at it now quickly. F3 maybe. I don't know. It's interesting because now I hold this. I don't see it's not that easy for him, man.
Yeah.
He's got no control, eh?
Yeah. Just to show the viewers, this was the repetition, by the way. And that was the end. Just to show the viewers that was the actual repetition of the game.
You can't play king to d7 because queen to d5 and the knight drops.
So
if you play here, then queen to d5, king moves, and queen takes knight, and then it's completely lost.
Okay. Cool. That's quite a cool game, Daniel. I like it. I like the fighting spirit. I like the attacking play over there, and the rook takes e6. And lovely stuff with knight h4. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Calvin, can we? There's 2 questions or comments in the chat room. Perhaps we can take that one, and then Daniel, I just like us for perhaps the last 5 minutes just to look at the Iranian game.
Okay.
Okay. So let's quickly take the questions, guys. So from just by the way, Bearded Zaid put this comment long time. So many legends on one screen. Thanks for setting this up, Calvin. It's a pleasure, Bearded Zaid. So from Dr. Queenie. Dr. Queenie, also a regular on the show. Thanks for tuning in, Dr. Queenie. Dr. Queenie says, I really think investment in Daniel's career should somehow be arranged. Daniel, any chance or opportunity on the horizon to make a huge effort in terms of getting sponsorship and be set up for, say, the next 3-5 years in Europe from time to time? So any chances of that,
I'll
Daniel?
be honest with you. If I go to Europe for 5 months now and I'll do a bit of work, I'll become a GM. No problem. It won't take me long. I'll do it quite quickly because you get used to the competition. Yourself, Calvin, and you were playing that Olympiad. After that Olympiad, you were starting to get into your stride. And you beat that Dustin. Remember Dustin from
Mohammed
Where
Dastani,
is
yeah.
yeah.
From
When you had that
Turkey,
game,
I
you
think.
in your
Turkey,
side,
Turkey.
then you come back to South Africa. The problem is then we sit and we wait another 6 months, 4 months
Yeah.
for another national tournament. But if you carry on playing in your stride, you pick up it quickly, man. You just
Yeah,
have to
no,
carry on.
definitely. Definitely. So yeah, no, Dr. Queen is saying you have the talent, passion, discipline now for the constant opportunities, and
Yeah.
that, yes, that's what we're lacking. So yeah, I'm not sure about what's the chances of us getting these type of opportunities or sponsorships, but that's definitely what we need, Dr. Queenie. And then yeah, welcome to last time I got it wrong, Danny. I said Cape Town Hakia because it's CPT Hakia, but it's actually Captain Hakia, of course. Welcome, Captain Hakia from Chess Heroes. Welcome to the show. And he says, new hairstyle. Yeah, I've been, I can't really say it's a new hairstyle. I've been growing it since the lockdown. But yes, it's been transforming over the last
Yes, I
couple
thought
of
you
months.
mentioned the hairstyle.
Yes. So he's saying, ask Daniel if MUT can also watch. Who's MUT? Mutt? Am I saying
Yeah.
Mutt?
Dog.
Ah,
Yes,
Mutt
yes,
can also watch. Oh, okay.
Yes, you want it.
And then
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, no, welcome to
Calvin, you got the
Akia.
wrong game, yeah. You got the wrong game.
Yeah,
You got
let me just update it here.
On the running game, I was black.
Yeah.
That's why I was. I was
Okay.
also doing well in this game. We can go through this game if you want. I was also doing well.
It doesn't really matter to me. Lyndon, you are uploading the games. Can you guys find the other game, or you?
It'll probably take us about a minute. Just give us a minute, and then we'll put the other game on, Daniel.
Yeah.
Or you can do this game, Lyndon. It's also not a bad game. When I analyzed it with the Ronin as well afterwards, I mean,
Now,
I checked on. I was
Yeah.
take this one. Danny, let's take this one because Calvin, because we only have 5 more minutes, really, Calvin. Danny, go for it.
Yeah, so let's go do this game. Okay, so this was obviously I found that when I looked at Ronin's games, he only plays E5. So I actually sort of prepared this in the morning. Actually, didn't actually prepare this. I prepared quite hard in the morning because we played at I think 3 o'clock. So I had a lot of time in the morning. Got up early and I looked at his games. And I thought to myself, okay, you're not going to play this and this against Iranian. You're not going to play. You're not going to play Italian and Ray Lopez, Spanish. You're going to get slaughtered. So I thought to myself, let's test him on Scotch game, which I don't normally play anymore. I actually haven't played it. That was the first game I played in a long time, Scotch game. I used to play it when I was younger, but normally these days I go for the gambit.
Yeah.
But I thought, gambit against Iranian, maybe also looking for trouble. So
yeah, that's the other thing also when you're playing a 2800 or a former 2800. There's like you see a lot of stuff that he can do, so it's tricky to make your decision. So yeah, okay, night takes Scotch game.
Yeah. So
also a Kasparov favorite.
Yeah. So obviously I prepared well for this knight f6. I was going to obviously go into main line with e5. I mean, I prepared for bishop c5. I was going to play knight b3. So I had all my preparation, but I had a funny feeling he didn't prepare for me. Obviously, I mean, remember, he's playing a South African. I mean, this guy's probably top 4 rated in the world. I mean, obviously thought he's going to play a sideline. So I actually expected this bishop b4 check of his. I actually looked at it prior to the game.
Okay.
I actually looked at it quite as well. So obviously bishop b4. It's obviously to play c3. So obviously your knight can't get there.
Yeah.
And he plays back to c5, and then I played bishop e3 with the threat of knight c6 and bishop c5. Okay, so he has to retreat his bishop to protect. Okay, then I played queen g4. I think the most common move here is knight f5. Then you get like yourself in a sort of I don't know if I can remember this. You get you play c4 and knight c3, and you get like a bind.
Interesting.
So that's what you normally play. But I thought I'm playing Iranian here, and I've seen a few of his games, and he hasn't played much against this. So I thought this test him on. It was quite good in the end because it actually got him thinking at a stage. Okay, so knight to f6. Now he plays a very sharp line. Okay, so I analyzed this. Queen takes, rook g8, queen h6, okay, d5. Okay, so obviously he's trying to break in the middle. You got to be quite accurate to this. Then bishop to b5, obviously developing the piece and at the same time attacking the knight. Bishop b7. And then bishop takes c6. Obviously this knight, I didn't want this knight to capture here, and it sort of helps his position as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted the double pawns. And I think at some stage I also got bishop g5 ideas as well. Yeah. So because normally in these type of positions you take with the bishop, the knight and c6.
Yeah.
Then he takes. Then I went e5, strong move, controlling the center, putting pressure on the knight. Rook G6. This is all theory, eh? You can
Wow.
check, yeah. You can check the game, yeah.
So Daniel, was
Again.
Bishop G5 not possible to play immediately before E5?
Isn't the Rook G6?
Probably
Okay,
Rook
so
G6 and E4 will drop, yeah. Unless you give up your
E4 will
bishop.
drop.
Yeah.
I think E5 is quite strong. I looked at this prior to, so all of this was still theory.
Okay, so you were still comfortable with your theory,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Knight G4 also theory. This is all amazingly as theory. Now I went, this is a strange part of the game now. I thought so long on castle. I was actually shocked here that I castled. I thought so long. This is specifically what my dad said.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your dad's theory.
I thought for 40 minutes on this. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, if I look at it now, I mean, Bishop F4 is like a basic move for me. I mean, Bishop F4, White's doing very well. I think White's comfortable. Remember, I'm a pawn up, Calvin, as well. I'm a pawn up in this.
So is this where you were out of book, Danny?
Eh?
Is this the moment where you were out of book?
Yeah, this is this was in the no, this is the second game, but I mean the first game was the big chance. But after this, I'm liking White's position. I said to Lev, I think White's fine. I know he's going to get this and Bishop B5 activate his bishop, but I think White's very hard for Black to win this. I mean, Black's still got to get his pawn back. Remember, pawn's a pawn.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I have these moments of brilliancy sometimes. I don't know what I'm thinking. I had it in round 1 and I had it in round 2 against him. I thought for 14 minutes on castle. I don't like. Come to think about it, it just doesn't feel right. I mean, he just takes. I mean, you just got these pawns. He's got two bishops.
Doesn't look right. Yeah.
I was overawed by. I mean, the people looking at my game.
The occasion.
Yeah, the occasion. So I'm thinking Bishop F4. What does he do here? I mean.
You will have to go with that idea that you did C5.
I mean, the engine's giving you, like, if you look quickly at it, I know this engine's not so great, but I mean, like, let's have a look. I mean, C5, I'm probably going to go back to F3, protect. I mean, this is very easy for White. I mean, all I'm going to do is play my bishop back to protect this castle, develop my piece. Still got to get
think again. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought to myself, Bishop F4, massive missed opportunity. Sure. So then I castled, and then I realized afterwards what I'd done. I mean, this is just, okay. So obviously he's not okay. So he could take it as well, but the problem is to get the E5 pawn is not so easy, because then I can obviously play knight to F3 and I can protect it. Sometimes his knight can be quite a thorn in your side in these type of positions. So I played you played knight to E5.
Okay.
Knight to E2. I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Why can't you just play knight D2?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, but Bishop H3. You got to look at Bishop H3. But remember the experience, you sitting there and you playing. I mean, there's Caruana looking at your game. I mean, Magnus is staring at you. I'm looking around the whole time. I couldn't even. Levs are walking up and down. I mean, he doesn't ever sit at the board. So it was. So I thought, I don't know. Then I decided to do something spectacular. You want to play for the crowd, sort of. And I mean, come to think about it, knight D2, I don't have a clue what it's doing.
Yeah,
knight D2, so I don't like it because obviously it gives you the weakness.
Yeah.
The weaknesses at that level will end up costing you severely. So knight C4 obviously has got double attack on B2 and E3. Knight F4, quick moves. Yeah, knight becomes very uncomfortable because now I'm defending. And remember, he's also got the bishop, eh?
Yeah.
And look at the square. Look at this pawn. Remember, the square in front is as well. This at later stage also. The square. It's very bad. So knight takes E3. You can take it, because F4 is hanging. If I go rook E2, take an F4. I had to do it because I had to get rid of. And then I played on for a few moves, but at Ronian's level, this is,
it's tough. It's really tough on a technical side.
They can play with you for another 100 moves, but they're going to beat you in the long run. These guys won't drop these positions against you. Not a pawn up. Once you're a pawn up, pawn down against a 2800, you can resign. Yeah, and then from there to this, he just did what he normally does.
Okay.
So I had a chance here with Bishop F4. I think in game 2 also had a chance for a draw.
Interesting stuff, Daniel. Maybe a question from my side, just one before we wrap it up. It's like you said, you like tactics, you like fighting chess, you displayed it in your first game. How did you feel with Aronian actually taking you playing these aggressive lines? For instance, with Black, he's playing this knight f6 sacking on g7. I mean, this guy is also coming from you with the same stuff that you feel like it's your
That's the way he
strength.
plays.
So,
Aronian plays that game.
so
He looks like he plays c4 when Aronian
Yeah.
plays. If you see Aronian's game, you see he plays the English opening.
Yeah.
You think he's like passive. This guy's more attacking than most people. Watch it. Look at Aronian's games, kid.
no, I know Aronian is actually one of my favorite players. He's definitely, but
he's one of the most attacking. You'll be surprised.
But how did you experience it? Was it fun? Was it exciting for you to play these type of games with him? These two games,
Yeah,
both.
it was an awesome experience. I mean, getting to mingle with these players. I still remember that incident with the guy with the shorts. I don't even remember the Canadian.
Yeah. Canada.
Yeah, he was wearing shorts or something. I forgot his name, man.
I think it's Kovalev. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big kahua about that. I mean, the guy who came in Bermuda shorts. I mean, when you're playing a World Cup, you gotta dress the part. I mean, I can't go like I'm going to the beach. I mean, you've got cameras around you. I mean, people have invested money. This guy came in Bermuda shorts, and obviously defaulted him, and there was a big up.
I remember there were some articles on it as well. But guys,
and I was supporting Basim when he was playing. I was like, after my game, I had a day's. My flight was only 2 days later, so I had a day off. So I was there with the tiebreakers, and Basim was playing. I think he was playing the Hungarian.
Yeah,
and I was supporting. We were trying to like boost his morale, and he eventually lost it. But I was spending time with the Egyptians. With they were the only other people that I actually really knew. It's like what's the other guy's name? Egyptian. No, it's not Shoka, man. It's the other guy, man. The guy that always plays in the African individual.
Are you still saying Hisham?
No, not Hisham. Other guy.
Okay. Okay, but
so we were like all together all the time, and obviously the Nigerian was there as well. He's the one that played Paulson. He also put up a good show as well, I must say. Paulson, I mean, he had Paulson at some stage. He wasn't beating him, but his position was stable. So he could show that the Africans could play.
Yeah, interesting stuff, Danny. But I think I'm gonna have to cut it there for our time. Just the last few moments before you go. Don't rush off. But just last few comments in the chat, and then I'll give it over to Lyndon. So just welcome to Roland as well. Roland is in the house as well. He says the emotional mindset and mentality is what any challenger needs when you take on these top GMs. I think Danny is one of SA's boldest players. And then of course Daniel was playing white in this second game. Let's see what else. Patrick, of course, as well. Yeah, Patrick, welcome, Patrick. He's saying, hello, I think Cawdery and Steele have the potential to become GM. And Bearded Zaid saying, please sign my sheet and give me your autograph. So, and then Dark White, I think he's one of our latest followers. Welcome and thank you for following. So, psychological, emotional discipline is also a problem amongst higher rated players. It is something that we all need to deal with just on different levels. So definitely. So I'm gonna go over back to the main studio, guys, to the library, and then London. Maybe you can just tell us who are we seeing. Or before that, maybe just from my side, I want to thank Daniel for joining us. It's not the first time that you've been on the show. But thanks so much for joining us. Of course, Danny, I've seen him at my first nationals. I think he was probably like under 18 or something, already doing brilliantly. So always someone that I've looked up to chess-wise. So thanks again, Danny, for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
And then London, just from your side, you can finish off, and then maybe you can just let us know who are we seeing next week.
Yeah, thanks, Calvin, and Daniel. Thank you very much. Charles Eigap, in his final comment here in the chat room, he summed up when he says, "Great games, played at the highest level, and surely South Africa can extract another grandmaster from IM Daniel." So Daniel, lots of support that you have from across the continent. As you can see, there are people joining in from all over. And from myself, I was very happy to research your chess and looking forward even to now playing more of your earlier games as well, because it's quite clear that those early Olympiads have great memories as well. So Daniel, thank you from my side. I've enjoyed you tonight, and hopefully you can show us some more games at a later stage this year. So
I'll come on again. Just arrange a time and a date. I can make an appearance. No problem.
100%. Thanks, Daniel. And
Thanks,
then just
Lyndon. Thanks, guys.
Just,
Enjoy.
just hang on 1 second, Danny. Just 1 second.
for
Okay.
10 seconds, Daniel. And then just to announce that next week, colleagues, following Daniel, we will have International Master Water Kobese that will be on next Tuesday. So we will then continue with our lineup of South African champions, starting with Daniel. Thanks, Daniel. And we'll see Watu and the viewers next week, Calvin. Over to you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your evening, Daniel and Lyndon. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
What we should try and do,
Yes?
just wait before I leave,
Yeah.
why don't we try and get some of our older players, if you got a guy like Mark Ruby as well, man. So
Yeah,
maybe
no,
take someone like Mark and get, you've got guys like Gordon Mayer, lots of guys and fascinating stories. We should also get them going on the
Definitely.
They're coming up in February and in March. We've signed them up already for
Oh,
that.
nice. Good to hear that. Yeah, let me know.
Okay. Great stuff. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your evening.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, Calvin. Bye.
Cheers.